This is Stark, and in this video we are looking at Edward VI's foreign policy. So first of all, we will look at the foreign policy under Somerset. So in 1547, when Henry VIII died, Somerset inherited a risky foreign policy, and this involved the arrangement of a marriage between Edward VI and Mary, Queen of Scots, and this would hopefully unite the crowns of England and Scotland. However, this agreement was not desired in Scotland, and this meant that Somerset attempted to isolate Scotland by agreeing an alliance with France. Now, this idea failed because Francis I died in 1547, and the new king Henry II renewed the French-Scottish alliance and sent a warship including 4,000 troops to Scotland. Now, this meant that Somerset adopted an aggressive foreign policy towards Scotland, where he attacked with 16,000 infantry and 4,000 cavalry. Now, this was backed by 30 warships and 50 supply ships. Now, although the Scottish army was large, they were poorly equipped and were defeated at the Battle of Pinkie in September 1547. Although this was a success for the English army, the forts proved difficult and expensive to garrison, the English were unable to capture the castles at Edinburgh and Dunbar, and the French assisted Scotland in relieving Edinburgh and gaining control of the young Queen Mary, who was escorted to France in August 1548 to marry the Dauphin, and that's the heir to the French throne. Now, this had disastrous consequences for Somerset because his foreign policy cost £600,000, it cemented links between France and Scotland, and he was unable to achieve a marriage between Edward and Mary, which is the main objective. However, Somerset cannot be entirely blamed because he did inherit a foreign policy that was almost impossible to win. So when Northumberland came along, he completely reversed the foreign policy implemented by Somerset. For example, he was willing to sacrifice his influence in Scotland so that he could focus on domestic affairs. He also realised that a friendship with France would be valuable if the main enemy was Spain and the Holy Roman Empire, which were ruled by Charles V, and Charles V was obviously a hardline Catholic who had been on the throne now for quite a long time. And this also took place during the Counter-Reformation, which was an offensive by the Catholics against Protestantism. So this led to the Treaty of Boulogne, which was signed in 1550, and this can be seen as a defeat for the English, as the Treaty of Boulogne meant the English were forced to hand over Boulogne in exchange for the fairly weak sum of 133,333. The English also had to remove their remaining garrisons from Scotland, and the border between the two countries was restored to what it had been before Henry VIII's Scottish campaigns. On the other hand, it did agree on the future marriage between Edward and Henry II's daughter, Elizabeth. Now, the relationship with Charles V, however, throughout the reign of Edward VI remained bad due to the extreme Protestantism that was being implemented within England. So thank you for watching this video, and see you soon.